meditation and spending extensive time in the monastery and that is to teach you how to navigate through life and to become an individual that we really need in the world. We need people who are compassionate, forgiving, loving, and don't have hatred in their hearts. We need those sorts of people rather than having people who are dualistically minded and self-interested. We don't need people like that. If we continue to have people like that, then we'll have no toilet rolls on the aisle, so the toilet paper will run out. So it's very important, and that's what the spiritual work is about. And that's why Sri Prabhupada said, doesn't matter who's going to fall away, this work is the work that needs to be done. And obviously if you go on outside and you look at the world and you look at the division in the world and the illusionary separation that people believe exists, then nothing can be more important than following the spiritual path for all of us,
Especially with what's going on around the world right now, we get to see how immature we all are, actually. We have been very spoiled, like you mentioned. We never run out of food. The fridge will be always full. We can always demand what we want to eat or to do. So when this kind of life-threatening crisis happens, then we like to blame other people for some reason. And we put the fingers point at like our leaders, political leaders or whoever leaders, saying they're not doing the right things, and I don't know, because we like to blame other people, or that's just easier because we don't have to work on ourselves, we don't have to blame ourselves. But we know that any change or solution for greater good begin from an individual. Individual change has to come into place, especially at this time around with this sort of crisis. Without individuals' effort, we won't have toilet rolls, like you said, because it must have started with a handful of people, I think. And everyone else just kind of panicked.
Well, it comes back to what you were saying. That's a result of group mentality. They're not secure in who they are. They're attached to the community too much, and they follow the herd. So, as you know, the spiritual endeavor is an individual endeavor. So, you're not going to be the one who's buying up the toilet rolls. You're going to be the one who's saving the toilet rolls for other people. You're going to be the one who lives a life of moderation. That's going to be your focus, because you understand that life is much bigger than just who you are. And that's what actually, ironically, the individual endeavor exposes, is that the idea of you as a self-interested individual, always in protection of what's happening in the world, always in that protective mode, trying to protect yourself, is completely false. What the spiritual path does is it shuts that door, and it shows you that you belong and that you need to trust the world. And actually, in some sense, even though people are buying up all the toilet rolls, you need to trust other people as well, because not everyone's buying up the toilet rolls. We need to put this into consideration as well. There's not that, I wouldn't say that everyone is self-interested in this certain situation that we're in. We won't give it a name. But that's what the spiritual path does. It allows you to merge with something greater than yourself, and allows you to deal with the situation how it has to be dealt with, you know what I mean? Because I can tell you, everyone that's listening to this now, if we are focused on our own spiritual cultivation and our own individual liberation, you'll come out of this crisis with no skin missing. You might even be better off from this. You might have developed yourself even more during this time. You know, that's not to diminish that all of the tragedy that's happening out there, but if we can take at least a positive out of it, we can concentrate on ourselves and become really the best versions of ourselves that we can, so that when the world does go back to normal, you'll be completely transformed.